Hi, I'm Katie Hacker, your host. Make-believe can be anything you want it to be. It's always fun to pretend, and on today's first project, we're creating a magical garden that's perfect for fairies or maybe just for bugs and ants. There are a few different things that you're going to put together inside the jar. You make your own mushrooms and fill it with sand, and you have a painted background. So this involves a lot of different techniques, the sculpting and the painting. What you'll need to get started is some air dry clay. Then we're also going to use some decorative sand, and you definitely want to have an empty jar that's clean and dry, some tempera paint, you'll need craft glue, styrofoam ball, and some other tools from around the house. We also have the patterns for this on the website, so you can print them out and use them as a template for your background. So what you'll do first is make the lid, and start out with a piece of red air dry clay that's in the shape of a ball, and then you're going to smooth it over half of a styrofoam ball. So we'll just start out with our red clay ball here, and see, I've already cut this one in half. You just use a knife to chop your styrofoam ball. Then use your fingers to press this down over the top, and you can press it onto the tabletop like this. You might want to pinch some of the clay away. You're basically just making the top of your mushroom, and the ball is what gives it that nice mushroom shape. Make it a little bit bigger than the ball that's underneath, because when this clay dries, it's going to shrink a little bit. So see how my edges are hanging down over the sides of the ball? And I'll just leave that in there while it dries. All right, so you're also going to, and we'll put this on a drying rack to let it dry. Then you're also going to make some stems. And you can see I have some red clay here. Just want to get rid of that before I use my white clay. So for white, what we'll do is roll it into a ball, and then make it into a little bit of a snake. So a pretty big sized snake. And then we're going to take the end and press it onto our mat and just sort of draw the ends upward by pinching. Pinching and pulling a little bit here at the top, and then press it down so that you have a nice stem for your mushroom. And you're going to make 2 of those and let those dry. Then you're also going to make 2 small caps just by flattening out a ball and pressing it along the edges. And then to make the little white dots, we'll make a small ball and press those flat like that and let those dry. It's the same idea with the yellow, but just a little bit bigger. Make some blue balls like this that are going to sit in the middle of each flower. And then we're going to take a ball of green to make the leaf. And for that, what you'll do is press it down with your finger and then sort of pinch it toward the top. So you're basically just making all your pieces and parts. And to add a little bit of veining on the leaves, you can just use a knife and crease the edge. You might even want to use the back like that to make your little creases and make veining on your leaves, like that. Okay, then you're going to let all of your pieces dry so you can glue them together. Now, for the gluing part, just do your drop of glue onto the cap and start to add your little dots around the side, like that. And you can add as many as you want to here. Then at the top, this is where we're going to build a flower. So we'll start out with a couple of leaves side by side on a pile of glue, like this. Then we're going to add a little bit more glue to the top of that. And this is going to get covered up by our flower here. So we'll just press our yellow onto the top and a little bit of glue for, whoops, I did 2, so I'll have to add 2 blue centers for the flower. All right, so continue doing this and let this all dry. And you'll also glue the styrofoam ball inside so that you have something to glue to your lid. So let's talk a little bit about painting. What you'll do is cut out a piece of paper that fits inside your jar. So just measure your jar from top to bottom and trim a piece of paper that's close to that. And then to get this pretty sky effect, what you want to do is wad up a paper towel and pounce it onto some tempera paint that's in a paper plate so that you can bounce it all around. And here's how you make a silhouette for your clouds. Cut out our little cloud pattern and then pounce on top of it with your paper towel. And this creates a relief that makes it look like clouds are floating in your fairy sky. So when you do the next one, you just do kind of over the edge like this. And then you can see it's a sunny day, but there are a few clouds on your paper. So when you're all finished, you can layer it together with other colors and you can make it look like this one. Then you also want to pounce onto some grass. And for that, what you'll do is blend two colors together. So I'm using some green and some yellow, some metallic gold, and that gives you some color blending. Just do your pouncing all over the grass, just like that. And you can add more color, and then you can set these aside once they're all completely painted and let those dry. Now you're going to place all of your elements into the jar. So start out with the sky. Of course, this is all dry. Roll it up, put it in there, and then you can place your grass inside the jar, same way. Then we're going to put our sand in the jar. First, you just want to make sure that your grass is all the way to the base. We'll add some green sand, make our fairies feel right at home. Pour that into your jar. Then you can use some tongs or some long tweezers and place your mushrooms down inside the jar. So start out with this shorter one. Place it in there, and then if you want to take a look at the finished one, you can see the longer one right in place and the cute little lid on top.